Today we're making a mushroom appetizer pie for the festive table. I'm using champignons, but you can use porcini mushrooms, which will make it truly royal. It's so beautiful and it's very tasty. Stay with me and we'll cook together. These pies are made with different fillings, and there are already several such options on my channel. So today we're cooking with chicken and mushrooms. We take some flour. The flour doesn't need to be sifted. We'll be making short crust pastry. Both short crust and puff pastry are suitable for such pies. A little salt. And we take a piece of butter. We carefully coat the butter in flour like this and grate it evenly on a coarse grater, ensuring even distribution. Now we mix the butter with the flour until it forms a uniform crumb. And now we take 1 egg. So look, instead of sour cream, you can just add regular water. With sour cream, the dough will be more crumbly. Therefore, for the pie, I will use just regular water today. Pour in 40 ml of water, preferably cold. Well, even if you use room temperature water, well, let it be so. The main thing is not hot. That's it. And now we gather a piece of dough. We've gathered a ball of dough. The dough turns out very, very soft. It might slightly stick to your hands, but not too much. See, look, it shouldn't stick to your hands. See, like this. The dough can rest for a while. I will need 2 small onions. We chop them. I slice them thinly into half rings and fry them carefully until golden brown. Pour a small amount of vegetable oil into the bottom of the pan and fry the onions until golden brown without adding any spices or salt yet. Take the mushrooms. I chop the mushrooms coarsely. Look, like this. If the mushrooms are very small, you can just cut them into 4 parts. When the onions are slightly golden, I remove them from the pan, like this, with the remaining oil. I put them into some container. And I don't add any more oil to the pan, but I do add the mushrooms. I don't add anything else. I also don't add spices or salt. I wait for all the moisture from the mushrooms to evaporate. For more heartiness in the pie, I add a piece of meat. I took and boiled 1 chicken fillet, but you can use any boiled meat. To make the fillet juicier, I let it cool right in the broth it was boiled in. There are 3 or 4 options on my channel. For these kinds of savory pies, see which option you like best. You can mix and come up with different fillings. Whatever you use to make these pies, it's always delicious. And you can always decorate them in different ways. For the topping, grate cheese on a fine grater. I use about 150 grams. You can use any tasty cheese that melts well. The mushrooms are simmering. Look at how much moisture they release. We wait for all this water to evaporate. Increase the temperature slightly so the water evaporates faster. And more. But this can be done just for aesthetics. When there's a lot of moisture in the mushrooms, I always leave about 3-4 whole mushrooms like this and add them here. I don't cut them. They need to simmer as well. Just like that. But to avoid damaging them, I add them exactly when the main amount of moisture in all the mushrooms has evaporated a bit, so as not to stir them to prevent the stems from boiling. This is for decoration. I will cook them too. Let them simmer like this. When all the water has evaporated, take some vegetable oil and drizzle it over the mushrooms like this. We start frying them until they are lightly golden. Be sure to add salt, and we'll add a bit of pepper, like this. That's it. Now we fry them. The mushrooms have browned. Now I take out these 4 whole mushrooms, which I will use for decoration. And I turn off and set aside these mushrooms, like this. All right, let's assemble the pie. I take a non-detachable ceramic dish like this. I like baking pies in such ceramic dishes. Now I cut out a piece for the bottom of parchment, but I make it with edges like this so they stick out. Out here so that the pie can be easily removed later. Now I take the dough. I don't grease the dish with anything because the dough has enough butter and it will come off well as it is. It's not necessary to roll out the dough. I just stretch it a little with my hands like this. It's pliable after resting, and that's good. It spreads out like this. Now, we place the dough in here and distribute it to create edges. Now take a fork and carefully and then make a nice edge. Now like this, pressing on the edge of the form, we make a beautiful border. All the leftover dough, well, so as not to throw it away, I feel sorry, we send it here along the edge. Like this. All done. The base is ready. The onion has already cooled down a bit. I will put it in a sieve to let the excess oil drain down, because we don't need extra liquid and we already have enough oil in the dough. Like this, it will drain a little now. You see, there's literally less than a tablespoon. And now let's combine all the filling. Add the chopped meat here. I boiled the meat in salted water, that's essential. Add the grated cheese. About a handful. I leave a little of the grated cheese like this to decorate on top. So we mix this cheese, onion, and meat. We transfer this as the first layer like this. Spread it out. Look, my mold is 26 cm. Everything fits perfectly. Don't use a smaller mold. If you take a 28 cm one, it will just be a bit lower, but that's also fine. Place the mushrooms on top. Look, I cut the mushrooms into large pieces. See how beautiful they look. After all, this is a mushroom pie. Like this, see? Beautiful. They're so juicy, really cool. I like them not too overcooked, but absolutely juicy like this. Now, definitely sprinkle the remaining cheese, like this. The mushrooms should be somewhat noticeable, so just a little bit more cheese, like this, you see. Don't completely cover the mushrooms, let them be clearly visible, as you can indeed see. Indeed, they should be very noticeable. For the cream, I use cream, 33%. Add half a teaspoon of dried basil, and add a little salt. Stir it all together. You can use any cream, but not too light. In general, the richer, the better. At least use 20%. Now pour the cream over the entire pie. Like this in a circle, so that it covers everywhere. The filling goes through, like that. Here too, don't use too much, it will be enough. 250 ml is just right. Now for the decoration, these large mushrooms that I prepared, just a few. Press them gently and carefully into the pie like this. Look, like this, so they are just a little visible. Take cherry tomatoes, I use these small ones, cut them in half. You can use any tomatoes and decorate with any kind. It looks very nice with cherry tomatoes. Place the cherry tomatoes, like this, cut side down. Press them in slightly, like this. You can use different amounts. You can use just a few purely for decoration, but I will make it denser to have a very beautiful pie on top. In the middle, take the 3 smallest, prettiest ones, like these little tomatoes, and place them very gently and carefully like this. A little down here. That's it. Now, by this time, the oven should be preheated to 180 degrees. Take a piece of foil, make a small dome over the pie like this, so that there is air inside the foil. And I do it like this. Right here in the center, I cut like this. Like this, a hole, so that the moisture can escape well. Like this. That's it. Put it in the oven for 40 minutes, preheated to 180 degrees. Decorate the top with green onions. It's in my oven. 40-45 minutes. Well, this is how it turns out. The only thing is, you can't cut such pies immediately. Decorate. You can use greens. You can decorate with spinach or with green basil. I'll use green onions and a bit of dill. Once the pie has cooled a bit, you can slice and serve it. Be sure to wait for the pie to set. This is how the pie looks when cut. It's such a delicate pie. In general, the combination of mushrooms and cream is the most successful. When the pie cools well and sets properly, it comes out easily. So there's no need to rush taking it out of the form. This is important. The dough is so tender. It's still slightly warm. Mushrooms, onions, and cream are the best combination, in my opinion. I really love this kind of thing. Listen, it's so tender and delicious. I love savory pie. I have several options on my channel, but probably this is one of the tastiest. It's just so delicious. I can't even convey to you how much I like this pie. With champignons, it's very tasty. If you find just plain white mushrooms, make this pie with white mushrooms. It will be a truly royal dish. And what about the quiche with white mushrooms? Wow. Bon appetit. It's look, 26 cm. In diameter, it's quite large. It will be devoured. It is served like this, cooled. On the second day, it's also very tasty. If you prepared it, for example, for the New Year's table and it accidentally stayed on the kitchen table, nothing will happen to it overnight, and in the morning, it will be devoured. Bon appetit. I believe you will really, really like it.